Hello, hello! Welcome everybody to another wonderful Thunderbird live hacking session. This is the 10th Thunderbird live hacking session that I've been doing, which is amazing to me and for me because I'm a huge procrastinator. I don't like to commit to anything, especially I don't like to commit to repeating things. But hey, this is happening. This is the 10th episode. I'm so excited. We're gonna look today at a bunch of cool stuff, a lot of coding. We're just gonna do coding today, a little bit of UI development, but some testing. We're gonna see how we handle tests in Thunderbird, how to fix a bunch of extra things. So it's gonna be exciting, hopefully. But before doing that, hello everyone. Say hi in the chat if you want to get a shout out or if you want to say hi. How's everybody doing? Today is March the 4th, is Thursday morning here in Vancouver, Canada. It's a gloomy day, but it's not raining at least. So it's doable. At least if it doesn't rain, it's a good day. That's my current level of a standard appreciation of all the things that make me happy. If it doesn't rain, I'm happy. So yeah, the bar is very, very low here. But hello everyone. Hello Dad Anoni G. Hello Macros. Hello Nasty Gamer. Hey Chris, how's it going, Chris? Chris Burko just published a little video just last week, I think, published a little update video on his YouTube channel, talking about all the good things that he will be doing on his channel. So check it out if you want. But yeah, hey Nasty Gamer, I'm good. How are you? Everyone else hopefully is doing great. People are showing up, which is fantastic. So as I was saying, today we are gonna tackle hopefully a couple of things. First of all, there's a good improvement that I just pushed into the Thunderbird nightly code. If you use Thunderbird nightly or if you use Thunderbird beta, you will have received these already. If you are still on Thunderbird ESR, like the extended support release, which is 78 right now, you won't be seeing that until the next ESR, which will come around the end of September, October, probably September, even before, hopefully. But it's Thunderbird 91 should be. I wonder what's going to happen after we pass like Thunderbird 100. Like, will we continue that numbering scheme? Thunderbird version 137 or like 1059. Like, sooner or later, those numbering should change, right? Anyway, I pushed something and I'm going to show you on the nightly, and I introduced test regression. There's a test that fails constantly on our continuous integration on our test machines, which I have to fix. So that's a good opportunity to show you how to fix a test, how to launch a test run and see how our unit test system integration works. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do some UI work because I pushed also some improvements to the attachment bucket of the compose area, some very cool fancy things. And I need to create some good variation for the RTL, like a right to left orientation of the UI, because for right to left users like Arabic or Japanese, no, Japanese no. Like what those countries that use right to left, the UI doesn't really work well. It's just a little bit clunky, so it needs to be fixed. But hey, Paxi Lexi Fixie, hello Leandro Ramos. It's so good to see returning faces, or I would say like returning avatars, because I cannot associate a face to everyone, but it's so good to see returning people and returning users here and say hi. It's turning into our weekly lovely family gathering. This is so depressing. Can't wait to hang out with my friends again. Okay, let's get started. Let me grab a sip of water. So what do we have here? Recently, in our most recent bug push here on the Comms Central, we pushed these little bug here called Fix the UI not updating after a new account is set up. And this is something that was bugging me a lot. Basically, when you were doing a new setup account from a fresh profile, the UI wasn't updating. Your sidebar was appearing, but the messages weren't getting loaded. All the folders of your account weren't getting loaded. And in order to trigger that, you needed to deselect and reselect the same folder, and then that was triggering that. And that was a race issue, basically. If we check all the changes that I did, basically, first of all, I added a comment because comments are important. But for all the changes that I did, the majority of the changes were around doing a proper delayed startup and waiting for the other things to conclude before trying to select the folder and download all the messages. So I started doing we had this massive method called load post account wizard, which had everything inside. And the red part, you can see how it was organized before. We had a method inside, which is basically, it's how you use a closure. You create a method inside another method, a function inside another function. So that function is basically private and belongs to that parent closure, cannot be called anywhere else, which is okay, but it didn't really make sense. And the error here was like we were doing a manual set timeout. When you set a timeout to 0, basically you're telling the software to just wait for whatever is happening before running this other one. And we were doing other set timeouts for the telemetry, which is not really correct. I mean, we were waiting. We don't want to trigger the telemetry before everything is completed. But these set timeouts were creating some problems. It was a little bit erratic, intermittent issues, and random. So the thing that I changed, basically, I created a proper method instead of the complete startup method inside the closure. I created the show system integration dialog here, and then I simply created a straightforward list of sections, of steps, like load the message folder, set up the account thread, initialize the toolbox, select the first folder, notify all the observers that our email startup is done. And then after we're done, use this super beautiful service that we have built into Thunderbird, comes from Mozilla if I'm not wrong. We can use the idle dispatch to main thread. It's basically, we use multi-threading to dispatch something else to the main thread. And we say, okay, idle dispatch this. It means like, don't do it right now, don't trigger it immediately, but wait for the rest to conclude. And by doing this, everything works, and it's beautiful. Now we have this beautiful, beautiful integration that works perfectly. The problem here that you can see when we push something, we have all these failures that we can identify. And this was this new failure, the BCT5 on Linux. Yes, this instrumentation browser instrument setup.js, which, if we check the log, like why is this failing, we see the log report here, and the log report says, we found an unexpected alert at the end of the test run. And we were able to identify that the patch that I did caused the issue because basically before, and this is kind of tricky, but since the account wasn't loading after a successful account setup, all our tests that were testing the creation of an account are using fake accounts, not real servers that you can ping. So the fact that the account wasn't actually loading, it was good for the test because we were setting up a fake account, the account setup was concluding, but nothing was happening because the account, like the server, the application wasn't trying to ping to a server. Now that the account and all the folders and all the messages are loading properly, the tests are failing because we are pinging a fake server. So Thunderbird returns an alert that says, hey, we cannot connect to this. So that makes sense. In order to fix that, we need to create a mock alert service. So we need to use a service to catch whatever alert we're getting and prevent it or handle it in order to prevent the application from freezing. And this is kind of a tricky situation because This is failing, but only on the CI, only on the 3-order continuous integration. It's not failing locally, which is super annoying when that happens. So if I do something like that, I'm closing here. So if I run the test, Mac test, instrumentation, browser instrumentation, JS, this is the test that is failing. If I run it, and it's going to regenerate the backend a little bit, blah, 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 blah. It's going to do everything. Okay. It's going to probably appear on this section. Yes, it's running the test, but boom, generates the account. Everything is correct. There's no error. And sometimes this happens because the computer where you're running the test is faster than the continuous integration or the remote server that we use to run the test, which has like a couple of cores, very limited RAM. So sometimes the test is slower, and when it's slower, it doesn't end before something else happens. So there's that alert that maybe happens a few milliseconds after the test is actually done. But because my computer is faster, that alert doesn't get triggered because the test gets shut down. Like the entire application is shut down before that alert is triggered. So that's the tricky part. We're going to try to fix it, and we're going to push to the try server to see if we actually fix this. So first of all, let me copy the bug number here, and let's do hg qnew. Let's create a new bug here, or a new patch. Bug fix intermittent, what's it called? These instrumentation browser instrument setup.js test, and we're gonna ping Dark Trojan to review these because he's a master of tests. Test fix, not text fix, test fix. Whoa. Just type slower. Fix intermittent browser instrument setup.js test fix. Okay, we created our patch. So now we can open our code editor and grab this file. Open it up. And this is a very, very simple test. It's actually very short test. You can see it's just like 98 lines of code, including all the setup things that it's happening. What is happening in this test, we are pulling some libraries and some JavaScript modules that are allowing us to actually run the test. We're pulling some helper methods like plan for Windows close, like we have some helpers and all the good stuff. And we're setting up a fake account. So we have this Roger Sterling with this example.com. And here we set up the module to set up the actual fake URL that we should ping. And we register the cleanup function at the end. And then we have, I think, 2 tests. Yes. Oh, no, actually. Oh, we have 2 register cleanup method. This is an error. Okay, this is the first thing. Yeah. We have 2. This is, nope. We shouldn't have 2. First of all, first thing first. We have the register cleanup function here, and then we can boom, 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 service, reset the character preferences to the default one because we don't want to affect other browsers or other tests in here. So literally we have just one test here. We have, the test mail account set up, which is very straightforward. And this is what happens here. We are focusing on the real name and we're inputting the value. We're writing these Roger Sterling. Then we are clicking tab to focus on the user email, and then we click next. Then we wait for the email configuration wizard to once fixed bug, blah, blah, timeout waiting for current configuration to become non-null. So we wait for the configuration wizard to conclude the auto configuration, and then we click the create button, which is the button that actually triggers the generation or the saving of the of the dialog, and then events wait for Windows to close, because after you save that, the dialog closes. And at this point, after we close the windows, that's where the problem happens, because before, after we close the window, nothing was getting loaded, just nothing at all. But now the Thunderbird actually behaves correctly and tries to fetch from the incoming host, this testingexample.com, tries to fetch all your email, all your folders, all your other things, and it's not doing it, or it's totally failing in doing it, because of course it's a fake server. But so it triggers an alert and says, hey, this is wrong, this shouldn't happen. So we can use a mock alert service to let the test know that, hey, you should expect an alert, and when that happens, just close it and ignore it, and don't freeze the test running. Oh, everything's coming up. So we can, I did something similar to this. So to the browser, new mail account, if I'm not wrong, mock alert service, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Original service, mock alert service. Okay, we need a mock alert service to capture notification events when loading the UI after a successful account creation, in order to catch the alert trigger when trying to connect to a fake IMAP service server. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So let's copy these. Actually, let's check what we're doing. We're using these, and then once we have mock register, we unregister on a tear down, and then what is our mock alert service? Where are we using it? Where are we using it? Show alert notification, mock alert service. Alert. There you go. We promise an alert dialog. Promise an alert dialog. Is this right? Close and restore. Should be these. Yeah. And we can confirm it by actually checking the original bug, because I think I did this in the original bug. So we can check the diff, and we can, there you go. That's what I implemented here. So we know exactly what is happening here. We register this mock alert service, and then we are catching the alert dialog, and we're just closing it because we don't care. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do here. We are gonna copy paste. That's basically 99% of what a developer does. Copy paste. Ugh, that's terrible. Copy paste the thing that you did before, because they're broken again. But whatever. So first we need to grab these mock register JavaScript module from these in the browser instrumentation. We're not using it, if I'm not wrong. Yes, the mock register, never used before. Okay, then we need to set it up. In order to set it up, we need to create these local variable, like global variable 2D file, and set it up. What are we doing? Before the setup module, we can put it here. The constant, actually, let's put everything together, because this is related to the mock register. So mock alert service, we need a mock alert service to capture notification events when loading the UI after a successful account configuration, in order to catch the alert triggered when trying to connect to the fake IMAP server. Let's do this. Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-bam. No, that's copyrighted. Then we set up the actual service here. in the setup module. Here in the setup module, we're just setting the URL, but let's set up the original alert service, the mock alert service that we have here, that it's perfecto. And then we need to remember to unregister it on teardown. Register cleanup function, incoming server. Actually, let's tear it down immediately before we actually affect the other incoming server and other things, before deleting all this stuff. And then here we can alert. We set an alert promise. Okay, there you go. Since we mocked the US, blah, 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 account creation, waiting for new windows. And this is a super cool thing, because all these tests, actually this test email, we need to turn these into an async method. Whoa, this is gross. Why? Why we have a method inside a method? This is, oof, this test is old, man. This test is weird. Shouldn't be like that. Okay. Test get an account, because here we can just simply add task and then async function test get an account, which is okay. Async. We need to turn these into an async method, and I don't understand. Is this something? Okay, we're fetching this from the account manager. That's why we're doing this. But is this okay, return. Okay. So here, then before the create button, we need to plan for that alert before the user clicks on the create button. Because after the user clicks on the create button, the dialog is immediately closed, and the alert, hey, I can unload this fake server, immediately pings. So before we trigger the click to the create button, we need to mock, or like we need to prepare ourselves to the promise here. Dialog promise. Perfect. We have this, the dialog promise. And then what we did here was exactly the same, a close and restore. What is this close and restore? Test get an account. Okay, this is something of the same method. Wait for an alert dialog. Await, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so create button, wait for windows to close, and then await dialog promise. So here, basically, we are using a browser test utils that we are fetching from nothing. We need to get this as well, browser test utils. I think this is available by default. We're not importing it from it. Okay, the browser test util is something that comes with monkey test automatically. We are fetching, so we are creating a promise, like an async promise return for the alert dialog. And in the promise, we are basically injecting an action. So when we get prompted, when we receive the prompt of the alert, automatically grab from the alert itself the accept button and click it right away. So we get prompted, click it, so it disappears. And because we declared this with a promise method, we stored it into a local variable, like a let dialog promise, we can use the await, because we converted this method into an async function. So basically, after the window is closed, we need to wait for the dialog promise to happen. So let's basically delay the continuation of the test until we get an alert, and then we click OK, and the alert disappears. And after that, we can continue. So with this, we should run the test without quickly removing it, and then if the test is too slow, we get the alert prompt, and that causes the error. And I don't know if that works, but we can run the test right away and see if we have that. Let's give it a try. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, there was a little bit of delay before the test was running super quickly. Now there was like a couple of, even like just 1 second of stop for the test. And we can also do something. So when you run a test locally with the Mac command, you can add an option or an attribute called --verify. The verify basically runs the same test in loop constantly until you stop it, in order to catch some exceptions, in order to catch some intermittent failures or good stuff like that. So we can do that and see if something fails. Let's make it run for like 10 times. Let's continue to, you can see the autoconfig, like the setup dialog opens, waits, closes multiple times, and then restarts, continues, and restarts. Seems good. Yeah. Doesn't seem that it's intercepting any intermittent failure or stumbling upon any issue. Okay, we can interrupt it. Perfect. We run it 45 times. Actually, we run it 15 times for a total of 30 sub-tests. And these looks good. Test verification failed. I don't know what that means. But, okay, so these seems correct, right? We can, first of all, let's refresh this patch and see the diff. If we're all good with the diff, we are mock register, we create a mock alert service. Then we set up this, we remove the duplicated cleanup method, the tear down module, that was a mistake. Then we converted this into an async method. We registered the promise alert, we're waiting for the dialog promise, and then we are destroying. We are unregistering the alert service. So this should be good. Now we need to push it to our try server, because we have a try run server that we can push all the things that we want to see if this fails. And we know that this test failure is a mocky test, a BCT5, it's a mocky test. So we can run this and tell the this little thing to only run the mocky tests and see if it fails. Actually, let me see. Does it fail also on other platforms? Because on yeah, look. Yeah, this is so weird. On macOS doesn't fail. These are other failures unrelated to this. We don't have that instrumentation on Windows. Yeah, on Windows fails. And I think on Windows 10, yes. Okay, so macOS doesn't fail. The beauty of testing multi-platform things, it's terrifying. Okay, so I guess we should run it on all the platforms just to be sure. And to run it, we have some keywords that we can use. So we can create, first of all, my series. This is the only patch they have applied currently, which is good. So let's create a new patch called try. And I already have all my predefined things because I always use it. But instead of running all the tests, the -u attribute is basically unit test. You're telling which unit test you should run. We can say just run the mocky test, because the mocky test is what I'm interested. I'm not interested in the XCP shell, XP shell test. I'm not interested in the G test or a marionette test. I just want a mocky test because those are the things that I'm trying to fix. We create this new thing, and in my series, I have my fix and then the try run, and then I can do push to the try CC server, which is the try.com central. This is a keyword that I set up in my bash script config. So I can push and force it, and it's going to try to push via SSH. Of course, it's all SSH protected. If my key is not approved, I cannot push anything to these try servers, and has been pushed. it returns the URL link that it's here. You can just open it up and it's thinking it, but after it runs all things and creates all the files and sets up all the tests, is gonna appear here. So we're gonna wait a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, do you guys have any questions until it appears? But before doing anything else, let's pop the try and let's remove the try, because we don't want to always do that, because that happened in the past that I was pushing to try and I left the try patch applied and I was updating my patch, but I was working on the try patch. It's like on Git, if you're working on a wrong branch and you commit all the things to the wrong branch, and then after a while it's like, oh shit, nope, wrong. So now we are in a clean situation, and these should appear sooner or later. But we can also, let's see if this, okay, it appeared here. So, okay, there you go. There you have it. Okay, this is, because I use the artifact attribute basically doesn't compile the C++ side of things. And the C++ side of things is it's making the test very slow to run on all the platforms. But because we're not interested in the C++, we're not touching that, just use the artifact. The artifact is gonna grab one of the most recent successful builds where the C++ side of things is complete and clean, and it's gonna use that, and it's gonna run the decision task on top of that, and then it's gonna try to run all the tests without recompiling the application from scratch. So that makes it faster, but also it's still gonna be slow. So it's gonna take probably half an hour, which is perfect, because meanwhile we can work on something else, and I can show you another thing that we can fix. Today is going great. Today is going to be good. He's getting very excited. Okay, we got this. We got this drop containers. I need to fix my drop containers here. Boop, boop, boom. Boop, boop, boo. Push. Okay. I'm not gonna compile this. I'm gonna build this for now, and I'm gonna show you the current situation of what problem we have here. Corstair8 said, I got pinged. You got pinged from my videos? Really? Did you set the bell? No one told me that the pinging was successful, but whatever. Chris Perker said, yeah, every day Control C, Control V. Yeah, that's all it is in being a developer. 15 years of experience of just copy paste. That's all you need. That's all you got, right? Alrighty. So here, what we have a bunch of checking a bunch of email. Close icon CSS. Okay, this is good. We're fixing these things. I feel like I have to sneeze. Sorry if I'm gonna sneeze in a couple of seconds, but this is what. Yeah, I told you I needed to sneeze. All right. So yeah, this is slow as hell. What we have here. A beautiful new thing that just was implemented on daily. And if you run daily, you will get it probably also on beta, but on beta it's a bit finicky because some new updates have landed. But this is what I want to show you. We got these app Android ITA. Sei italiano? Sì, sono italiano. Si capisce dal nome. And then he said COVID confirmed. Nope, not at all. COVID non-confirmed because I tested. I did a test. I tested myself. I went for a test, a COVID test, and was negative. This is just dust because, of course, because of COVID, I'm so lazy that I don't want to clean my apartment. So it's so dusty in here, and I have a dog, so it's even worse. But anyway, moving on. So here we have the new the same old composition window that now works beautifully if you try to drag and drop a file on top of it. So I'm gonna put this here down. You're not gonna see it, but I'm gonna drag a picture. I'm gonna drag a little picture here. Let me grab a little picture of myself. Gonna drag a little picture, you can see. So when you drag on top of it, we return the dropping buckets, or like we suggest you, or we give you an option. What do you want to do? Do you want to append these in line to the message, or you want to add it as an attachment? If you drop it on add it as an attachment, of course it adds as an attachment here and it gives you a little bloop, nice animation. Instead, if you drop it on appending line, it just drops it in line and then you can reorder inside the body container. So it's beautiful. The thing is, a user suggested that these two buckets should be swapped because it's more natural to actually, if you it's a sort of like approach. If you want to attach some files, it's more natural to click on the attach or use the keyboard shortcut to trigger the file picker. But if you wanted to append things in line, it's most likely it's that the user is drag and dropping things. So if you want to append in line, the first option should be append in line. So that's what I did on the patch. Discard changes, close these. So capish. Chris says spring is allergy season for me. Every scratch in my throat, I think this is it. Yeah. Oh man, allergy season is just panic. It's okay. This is it. That's the worst thing. What a fucking terrible year. We've been in this shitty situation for 1 year, and every time there's a sneeze or something, this is it. Okay, the tests are running. The decision task was successful, and we're running our test, so I'm still waiting. But yeah, so I did a little bit of an update on this, and you can see here, if I open the compose window and I drag and drop here, now we have the insert inline. We changed also the text, the insert inline or add as attachment, which are swapped of position, which is good. The problem is that then I wanted to also make it fancy for right to left users, the users that they have the inverted layout, and we need to support that because it's a global application, right? So the right to left, because if we give the users the first option to from left to right insert in line, then right to left should be insert in line as well. And we can simulate very easily right to left if we open our inspector here. And the inspector, we select the messenger compose, and in the messenger compose we select the window, and we have the locale dir set to LTR, so left to right. We can invert it to RTL, right to left. And you can see the UI changes. It's all RTL. You can easily simulate. Look how weird it looks, but some users, that's their thing. Oh, this should be also inverted, which is interesting. Okay, that's for another bug. So in this situation here, if we drag and drop, look what happens. So first of all, the direction is not swapped. The inserting line should be this way. But also the background image, it's all squished in the wrong direction, and it goes up on top of it. So we need to do some CSS trickery to make that happen. The application works anyway. It's not... we don't have any bug, any issue, but it looks awful. It shouldn't look that way. So we need to fix it. Let me close this, discard changes, and then boom, close this. So yay. Yeah, Danny, we need to fix the RTL position. Oh, getting tired. Oh, talking for an hour straight. It's terrible. So here, let's do that in our messenger compose.css in the share file. So we have the drop attachment overlay, justify content. So RTL should be flex direction row reverse, and this is not happening. I don't know why this is not happening. So mods local dir RTL. Is that because I set that up in the wrong flex justify flex direction row reverse RTL sorry, local not direction RTL. Okay, so reverse. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's actually, why did I close that? I should have kept it open. Use the inspector, but yeah, fixed. Messenger compose, look how RTL. Okay, and now we can actually pick the should be above here, right? So it does, yeah, there you go. Dropped attachment. We can do show here. Show, yeah, there you go. We have it. In the show, this is very tricky to make that happen, to show you everything. But here, yeah, we got flex direction row reverse. Oh, we don't need that. Oh, because the RTL with the flex automatically has, so we don't need that, but we need to invert. Okay, we don't need that. So if we remove these, and we also remove the extra padding that I gave on the RTL here, yeah, see? So this should be inline start. Yeah, there you go. So we don't need that. Interesting. Okay, so Flexbox automatically supports the flipping of things, right? Interesting. Okay. So the RTL here, yeah, left to right. We don't need these separation. We don't need these thingy, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. But we still need to, actually, let me save this little stuff here because I need it. We need to take care of these awful thing here, these image here, and we can analyze what is happening on the image. Let me analyze the second one so you guys can see it. Here we have the background to the left. So we need to set the background position X to the right. Yes, there you go. So we can drop attachment, drop as attachment, drop as attachment. There you go. We can do this. Drop attachment. Boom. Box. Drop as attachment. And our RTL, and then same is dropping line is the background position X is to the right, and this should be good, right? This should be a good. Let me grab all my stuff. Let's close this, shut it down. Shut it down. I shouldn't need to compile because it's just CSS, but it's fast, so who cares, just to be sure. Run TB. Okay, let's open up. Regular role, inserting line, add as an attachment. Okay, great. Oh, also, I think that I didn't show you that if you drag a folder, of course, you cannot append it in line. So automatically it recognizes the file type. And if you are dragging a bunch of files all together and there's at least one file that cannot be appended in line or attached in line, it just returns add as an attachment, because of course we cannot handle extra type files inside, which is super good. But yeah, this is correct. So now if we change these to right to left, right to left, where is it? RTL, boom. And we drag this on top. Yeah, there you go, inserting line, and then add as attachment. That it's a perfetto. Yes, and this works as expected. Nice. This is beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? That's all we needed. We fixed another thing today. I'm so productive. HQ refresh, export, drop containers to diff, and then now we can add, we can close this, implement test to current, etc. We were doing this, right? Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Add attachment. Drop containers. Let's ping Richard. Submit. Bam. Okay. We pushed and asked for a review, and it works beautifully. How this is looking. Okay, so we're running some tests. Of course, the building was successful because we're using an artifact build, and you see all these dark black tests are running. The gray tests didn't start yet, but what we're interested in the BCT5, and finger crossed, hopefully we're not gonna have another failure. But we got a bunch of questions here. Chris asked, what about put the attach on the bottom and inline on top instead of side by side, since the attachments show up at the bottom? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I did consider that, but it's a matter of space. It's a matter of like sizing. It feels more natural, or actually in general for like screens, for laptop screens or desktop screens, it doesn't matter how big your screen is. It's always 16:9 for now. There are some like 3:2 ratio now, for example, the most recent Surface Pro, Surface Laptop, but usually you have way more horizontal space than vertical space. So it was easier from that point of view to avoid having those two items squished together. And also another thing, because we have many elements here, having these text on, potentially this is the most empty area that we might have in our message compose. Even if you have a lot of text here, this is a good empty area that you might have. Instead, if we have one on top and one at the bottom, you risk that, especially if you have many addresses, that one of these two texts is right on top of this busy area of a lot of fields. So it might be, we didn't want to increase too much the overlay background color, because we still want to give the users the ability to see what's underneath, if they want to attach it, where's the location you want to attach, where the cursor, if they want to add it in line. So all this stuff. So that was the main reasoning behind this organization, but it's something that we can change if we see that users prefer it that way. But we get literally, and this is pretty insane, it's pretty strange, we get a lot of complaints about vertical space or horizontal space, like users that we have a lot of users that have like 600 pixel of height of laptop, like a screen height, which is rough. Christopher, hey Alessandro, hey Christopher, I've been watching through your WordPress theme development from a few years back, and it's really helped me work on my first big project of creating a school website. Oh, Christopher, I'm so happy to hear that. It makes me really happy. I'm glad. Yeah, it's surprising how even my 5 or 6 years old tutorials about WordPress are still going strong. Even if I should update them, because a lot of things change. Not a lot, but some major things change, so I should do a refresh of that curse, but it's helping a lot of people, which is, it's phenomenal. Okay, we have a BC2 failure, which is, it should be known on BC2 failure, browser cat. Is it a new one? We have other BC2 failures, but these are different cardav. Oh no. Okay, no, okay. Sorry. Oh, this is good. I thought it was the Linux BCT5. So the BCT5 for the message securities are well known. We have these absurd things that macOS has these failures just for the message security, but nothing else. Okay. This BCT2 update check for updates. Test timeout. Check for updates. This is interesting. This is I mean, the fact that the test here has a link underneath, it means that it's matching a report, an intermittent report that it was already present. So this is not something new, but I shouldn't have caused this. But the fact that it's failing on every platform makes me worry. Okay, it's also failing on another test. Okay, this is a new thing. As I didn't introduce this. Okay, so if the test is failing also in other test runs, it means it's not, we didn't cause it with our patch, which is good, So far so good, I guess. BCT2, we should ignore it because this is update interactive, no prompt. Interactive, no prompt, and then it's the same failure here. Check for updates. This is not Linux, but this is OS. No one ran Linux before. Okay, BCT1, BCT2. Okay. Then the BCT5 of macOS only fails the view message security, which is good because that's always a constant failure. Except here, it seems that here it didn't fail, which is very interesting. Wow. Tests drive me crazy, but yeah, these are running. These are all running. BCT1 is not running yet, but yeah, this is probably the most boring part of coding. You run a test and you wait for an hour to see if it failed or not. Oh yeah, no, it didn't fail. Okay. But what we can do, we can actually check if this is something that we caused. And we can check it right away, because if it fails locally with our patch, it's something that we caused. So let's grab this BCT2 and run it. Run it. Mac tests. Update interactive, no prompt.js. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's stuck. It's frozen. Yeah. Yeah, you see I have the window here. It's completely frozen. It's not doing anything. So I think if I click here and I click on update, I should grab it. But yeah, it's this whole fake window of a prompt. It's frozen. Yeah. Okay, we didn't cause that issue, which is good. Do we want to wait until it unstuck itself? We want to interrupt it. Get string from name. Okay, this is the error. Extension.js. Yeah, no problem. Test timeout. Okay, we have it here. Whoa, what? 4 years ago. Well, we've been carrying these intermittent failures for 4 years. Priority P5. Yeah, we don't care. Wow. That's brutal. That's some sketchy thing. Oh, BCT4. Wow. A lot of failures on macOS. Also, this is a known one. All the extension things. Content tab, XPIs, extension J. Probably something busted the extension JavaScript module, because all those tests are related to the extension JavaScript modules. So, okay, Windows 7, BCT5, it's green, which it wasn't on our recent run. So Windows 7 BCT5 had our instrument set up. So the fact that the BCT5 on Windows 10 is green, it's a good sign. Oh shit. Okay, yay. BCT5 is correct. Test how to hide menu bar. This is another thing. Okay, so it seems good. It's interesting that it's a success even if we have a lot of failures, because we fixed one test that it was failing, but we have other 20 that are failing. Which is terrifying. But we can do this. We can update, test, fix. Push Q. Let me see if this is the right file. Yes. Let's check. Export. Boom, 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 boom. Let's export this file. Def. Okay, and then we can attach it here. Test fix. Ping. Dark Trojan, and then add try run. Yeah, confirm. Is not visible, the BCT5 anymore. This should fix it. Try run. Boom. Okay. Yay, dudes. We fixed it. A touch of ADD. Yeah, everyone has a touch of ADD. Hello. It's Zafix. Hello, welcome. We fixed a bunch of test failures that we were having. There's still a lot, but we fixed some annoying one that was failing also on Windows, and it was this one. And then we did some UI design, and we request a review, and there's a review for me also as well. Ooh, yeah, that was good. Do you guys like it? That was quick. Not really quick, still 1 hour of live streaming, but as usual, when I'm almost at the end of the live streaming, like 1 million people appears, like what the hell is going on? But yeah, so I showed you how to identify a test failure, investigate some regression. We fixed the test. We launched the try run. We saw how the Thunderbird continuous integration system with unit test and all the other good stuff works, and how we fixed the test. We fixed a little bit of an UI issue in the new attachment pane. It's Zafix. Yeah, this is cool. Thank you so much, Zafix. I'm glad that you think it's cool. It makes me very, very happy. Of course, if you just connected to this, please watch it. Go back. It's just 1 hour. You can enjoy it even if it's not live. But yeah, that was an interesting discovery. But yeah, other than that, I think unless you guys have a bunch of questions that I can answer, otherwise we are almost at the end of this beautiful live streaming. Did you guys have fun? I hope so. Did you guys and girls, everyone, did you folks have fun? I hope so. That's it. Okay, as usual, thank you so much for joining this live streaming. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to this beautiful channel. We are very close to 90,000 subscribers, which is mind-blowing and insane, but I really hope to reach 100K. I need to upload more tutorials about WordPress. As soon as I finish the WordPress tutorial, I'm going to finish the Vala tutorials, and then we're going to start doing Laravel and JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript and Laravel. So PHP, heavy PHP and heavy JavaScript. So yeah, Zafik said, did you guys have fun? Even if I just got here, yes, I did. It's great. It's all because of my beautiful face, right? Hey. But anyway, so yes, please give it a thumbs up, a like, subscribe. As usual, if you want to see something else about Thunderbird, something specific, some source code or some workflow, just leave a comment on this video. And next Thursday morning, I'm going to do another live streaming, answering and tackling the things that you requested underneath this video. So I'm going to do these sort of like, I'm going to give you this space or this place to write your request, and I'm going to tackle them in the next video. And that's it. That's pretty much it. A Viper Hosting. Hi. Welcome. You just arrived at the end of the live streaming. Okay. There you go. And I think that's it. Yeah, we're at the end of the live. It's beautiful finishing a very exciting live streaming with the host just zoning out for a second, just not saying anything. It's just blank. My brain is blanking. I'm tired. Okay. Thank you all for watching and participating. You guys and girls are awesome. I had so much fun. There's nothing else to say. Until the next one, as usual, happy coding. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.